Hello dear students, welcome to Pen and Paper Chemistry. Are you ready with your pen and notebook to note down and to draw a very interesting aspect of chemistry, what we call as the periodic table? So let's get going and pick up from where we had left earlier. First of all, what do we understand by table and a periodic table, and why do we need to do a periodic table? Why do you have a study table? Why do you have a table in any place? You have desks and chairs in the school. Why do you need a table? Go ahead, think about it. Yes, it helps you to organize your stuff. It makes life a bit easy for you. It makes the life a bit comfortable for you. That's the entire purpose of the table, and that's the very purpose of the periodic table. To help you organize the 118 elements which are known to us, natural as well as synthetic. It helps to make the study of these 118 elements easy. It helps you to correlate the properties of the different elements based on their position in the periodic table. Now, again and again, we are using the word periodic. Periodic means related to time, something which repeats itself at regular intervals. So if we talk about the pendulum of a clock, it repeats this back and forth motion every 1 second. So periodic means a movement or an activity which repeats itself at regular intervals, Now, why do we call it as the periodic table? Because when you will observe the periodic table, you will see, and when we'll study the properties also, you will see that the same property gets repeated at regular intervals. Now, what are those regular intervals and how do we define them? Let's go ahead with it. In the previous video, I have taught you atomic number, mass number, how to determine the number of electrons, protons, neutrons, how to write the electronic configuration. Can you recall that and write all these values for 11Na23? That is, we are talking about an atom of sodium. If you have any doubts regarding this, there is a video separately based on this particular heading which will make your concepts very, very clear. So let's go ahead. Electron is 11, proton is 12, neutrons are... Yes, am I doing correct? No, protons are not 12, protons are 11, correct, and neutrons are 12 over here. Why are they here equal? Because in a neutral atom, number of electrons is always equals to the number of protons whenever an atom is neutral. Please remember that, right? That's a good way to see how much attentive you are towards the lesson. What about the electronic configuration? Correct, 2, 8 and 1. What about the valence shell, which is the outermost shell in this particular atom? So you have the first shell, you have the second shell, you have the third shell. So the valence shell over here, or the outermost shell, is the third one, right? Why are we doing this? Because this will help us to organize our table, right? So that is the third one. What about the valence electrons? How many valence electrons are there in it? Only 1. So let us jot down these values for our first 20 elements. I will give you the atomic numbers. You have to start writing down these values. Now, when we will make the periodic table, we will Of course, if it is a table, means we need to organize it in a certain manner. And what is that manner? You see over here, we've got horizontal rows which are called as periods here, right? If you notice, there are 7 periods in all. You also have vertical columns over here, and these are called as periods. That's why I've written period. Sorry, the vertical columns are called groups. Apologies. So the vertical columns over here, I have indicated 8, right? No, this periodic table is not complete, but we are going to begin the periodic table with our first 8 columns. Okay, don't worry, by the end of this video we would have the modern periodic table in place, but as a beginner we'll start with this. So if you can lay your hands on let's say if you can find some old calendar, a big one, or a big sheet of paper with some colored sketch pens, if you can lay your hands on that, and a ruler. They will come in very, very handy for you to draw this periodic table and put it near your study table for easier revision. So go ahead, grab these. So now that you are ready with your chart paper, let's list down. So the atomic number, mass number, number of electrons, electronic configuration, valence shell, which will give you the period, valence electrons, which will give you the group number. So let's start with the first one. Hydrogen atomic number 1, mass number 1, electrons 1, electronic configuration 1. So the valence shell is the first one. What will be the period number? Period number is given by the valence shell. So what we've got over here is period is also 1. What about the valence electrons? Now in the valence shell there's only 1 electron. So the group number for hydrogen will also be 1. So now you have your periodic table. Okay, have a look. We said period 1 and group 1, right? That's what we said. So period 1 and period 1, group 1. That's the position of our hydrogen, right? So let us put H over here. Go on to the next element that you have, that is helium. Helium again, atomic number 2, mass number 4, number of electrons 2, electronic configuration 2, valence shell is again the first one. So period will be 1. Valence electrons, how many electrons are there? 2. So the group number should also be 2. But the entire purpose of having this periodic table is to help us organize, right? And there is periodicity in the behavior of elements. So what do? Helium, we will see later, does not belong to the group 2. Where does it belong? It belongs to group 8 or 18 in the modern periodic table. So for now I will write it as 8. So when you have to put it in the periodic table, where will you put it? Yes, you will put it under period 1 and group 8, and this comes under helium, right? You will understand, don't worry, relax. You will understand why we have put it as we go on filling the periodic table. Now go on to the next element in this. Lithium, beryllium, boron. Try writing the electronic configuration of these elements and putting them in their respective position in the periodic table that you have. So When we talk about lithium, atomic number 3, mass number 6, number of electrons is 3, electronic configuration is 2 and 1. So what about the valence shell? Now which is the outermost shell? First shell? No, because the last electron is in the second shell. So the valence shell is 2. So the period number for lithium would be correct. It would be 2. Valence electrons. How many electrons in that valence shell? 1. So group number would also be 1. So again, look at your periodic table and mark period number 2, group number 1. So period number 2, group number 1. Yes, there is the position of your lithium. So let's fill it here. So we'll put under hydrogen, we will have lithium. Go on to beryllium, atomic number 4. So we'll have atomic number, mass number, number of electrons, electronic configuration, valence shell. Which is the valence shell? The second one. So the period number will also be 2. What about the valence electrons? How many are there? Perfect, 2. So group number would also be 2. So we have the first element under group 2, period 2. Period 2 and group 2. The vertical columns are called groups, right? So here you will fill B, E. You don't need to draw these lines. I am only drawing these lines for greater clarity. You can actually leave them out, and I'm sure if you have understood the concept, most of you will not be waiting for me to tell you about the position of each of the elements. Go ahead now, try for the next 4 elements. Boron, atomic number 5, mass number 10, number of electrons 5, electronic configuration, yes, 2 and 3. So period number would be, very correct, period number would be, go ahead. Yes, the valence shell is the second one. So period number would also be 2. How many valence electrons are there? 3. So the group number would also be 3, right? So go ahead. Period number 2, group number 3. So I have my first element over here, boron. Similarly, go ahead and fill up the rest of the 3 elements. So we have carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. Would you like to go ahead and try the other elements as well? You can always pause the video, try filling up the periodic table to match with what I am going to make on further on. It will give you so much happiness that you will be having a big smile on your face. So this is the set of the other elements. We've got nitrogen with atomic number, fluorine with atomic number 9, neon 10, sodium 11, magnesium 12, aluminium 13, 14 silicon, 15 phosphorus, 16 sulfur. Go ahead and try these. Here, if you see in the case of neon, the valence shell is the second one, so the period is also the second one. Now the valence electrons are 8, so group number would also be 8. Please remember, we are not yet done with the modern periodic table, because in the modern periodic table this 7 becomes 17 and 8 becomes 18. Why? We will see a little later. Sodium, 2, 8 and 1. So now the valence shell is the third one. Period number would be 3. Valence electrons 1. So group number also 1. Go ahead, keep on filling these elements in the periodic table. And for those who have already done it, it would be in your interest to match your answers and make sure that you've got them Correct. So 2, group number would also be 2. We have the remaining 4 elements. That is because we are doing the elements up to atomic number 20 for students who are doing up till their class 10th. For 11th and 12th, you need to do all the 118 elements. We need to talk about orbitals, sublevels. So that's a different set of videos on the channel in case you're looking for that. So we have atomic numbers 17 is chlorine, 18 is argon, 19 is potassium, 20 is calcium. So electronic configuration of chlorine 2, 8 and 7. Valence shell is the third one. Period will also be the third one. Valence electrons are 7. Group number is also 7. Argon 2, 8, 8. Potassium, don't forget 2, 8, 8 and 1. Calcium, don't forget 2, 8, 8 and 2. We have already discussed why we are not writing it as 2, 8, 8, 2, 8 and 9 or 2, 8 and 10. Why are we not writing it like that? So here the valence shell is 4th, right? So the period number for both of them is 4. Valence electrons here 1, so group number 1. Valence electrons here 2, group number 2. Easy till now? So if you look at the periodic table, you would have something like this. Lithium, sodium, potassium, you'd have beryllium, magnesium, calcium, boron, aluminium. I'm not going down further because I have spoken only about the first 20 elements. Carbon, silicon. Go ahead, can you tell me? I would have loved to have an interactive class. Nitrogen, phosphorus, oxygen, sulfur, fluorine, chlorine. And here we had said helium, neon and argon, right? So that is how we place the first 20 elements in the short form of the first 20 elements. Now what happens is when you start filling up the elements in the next element, so what you've got is next you've got scandium, atomic number 21. Now for scandium, what happens is instead of it having the configuration 2, 8 and 3, after the fourth shell has acquired 2 electrons, now the electrons start going back into the third shell. So scandium instead has the configuration 2, 8, 9 and 2. And this goes on happening till the third energy level or the third orbit has had 18 electrons. So, for the next 10 elements, I'll have the configuration something like this. 2, 8, 11 and 2. 2, 8, 12 and 2. So, what is happening over here is the number of electrons in the valence shell is remaining the same, whereas the number of electrons in what we call as the penultimate shell is increasing. So we need to make provision for these, right? And here, so these set of 10 elements are to come before I go on to my atomic number 31, because once I start with atomic number 31, they start following the rule that we have given earlier. So what do? I need to accommodate these 10 elements, right? So we will ask the elements over here to move away from each other so that we can have that provision. And there you see, we've got this set of 10 vertical rows in order to accommodate those elements in which the electron will enter into the inner shell. Confused? How does it match with my original periodic table? Don't worry. What did I say? We said that we have the groups over here, right? All our vertical columns make the groups. All the horizontal rows are making the periods for us. Correct? And we had group number 1, 2. Only difference is the numbering. Now I'm going to number it as, yes, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And again, let's go back to, instead of 3, there's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Believe me, you students are lucky, because when we did our class 10, we used to have these listed as 3B, 4B, 5B, 6B, which was very confusing, whereas these elements were numbered as 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A and 8A. Now they have done away with that system, and they have made it as a continuous set of 18 vertical columns. Isn't that easy? Right? Okay. Now what we are going to do is, we are going to fill our first 20 elements again according to the same system. So I have hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium. No difference there? No difference there. Beryllium, magnesium, calcium. No difference there? No, not at all. What about boron? Where do we put it? See, this is how we had it. Remember? Now what do you do over here? Where it's 3, it's 13. Why? Because now we are going to accommodate the 10 atoms. And we cannot do it. If I do it, if I try to put the boron in the same place as it was earlier, so what will happen is that, okay, a part of my periodic table would be like this: hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, something like that. And if I try to keep beryllium over here only, no, this was my 3, and boron over here. But the elements which are below it, the properties of this beryllium will not match with the elements which will come below it if this beryllium and boron and carbon and nitrogen say, no, we are not going to make space for the 10 elements, let them make space, because we are not bothered, right? If they stick to their rules, then it will be a problem, because the whole purpose of having the periodic table is to organize. We want to have elements which have similar chemical properties under one column, right? So what do we do over here? If you notice, our column over here has got all the alkali metals, of course, except hydrogen. And hydrogen also in the modern periodic table is actually placed in the middle. It neither belongs to alkali metals nor to halogens. Did I use a new word? Yes, I used halogen. What are these halogens? So what we've got here is fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. These are all salt formers, and they are named as halogens. The last column of the periodic table: helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon, and so on. Now these are all inert gases. You see how beautifully our periodic table has gotten organized, where elements having similar chemical properties are getting aligned under one column. Now fluorine, if I know the valency of chlorine, I know the valency of chloride, bromide, iodide, all will be 1. They are belonging to group 17. Very soon I'm going to tell you how to decipher the valency also from the group number. Even that's very easy, right? Now let us go on to fill our other elements. So what we've got over here? Yes, we'll have boron, we'll have carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, then aluminium, 13, silicon, 14, phosphorus, sulfur. Correct? We have only done till here. Now your atomic number 21 will come here. Atomic number 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Don't bother about remembering their name at present. Don't take tension. Relax. Then 31 again comes here. 32, 33, 34, 35 and 36. 37, 38, and then what again? Yes, 39. So you see, such a beauty is there in this table, and looking at this periodic table, you are able to decipher a number of things. What are those things? Group number 1 means valency is 1, alkali metals. For the time being, I will include hydrogen also over here. So group number helps you to decipher the valency. Group number 1, valency is 1. Group number 2, valency is 2. So would you like to make a note of this just below your periodic table? And please don't be upset if you had to tear away your first periodic table, considering that we had not drawn it fully. Don't worry, it's all part of the learning process. Didn't it make it easy for you? Group number 2 means valency is 2. You know that beryllium, magnesium, calcium all have valency 2. Group number 13. Now, we don't want to be including these 10 elements, right? We don't want to be bothering about that. So 13 minus 10 gives you 3. So valency is 3. Group number 14 minus 10, valency 4. Group number 15, now do we want to minus 10? We get 5. Will it have a tendency to donate 5 electrons? No. What do? They can't even share 5 electrons. So instead, it's easier to start moving to the right. So 15 means how many more electrons does it need in order to come into this column? That is column number 18. Tell me, how many more electrons does 15 need in order to become 18? Good. It needs 3 more. So the valency here is 3. Valency for group number 16 is 2. Valency for group number 17 is 1. What is the valency for group number 18? It is 8? No, it is 0. These exist in the form of atoms. Why? Because these are inert substances. They do not have a tendency to make friends. They say we are happy in our own world, just let us be. You can also understand the valency by the concept, how many electrons does an atom need in order to have 8 electrons in the valence shell? So for example, we take the case of potassium. Electronic configuration of potassium is, go ahead, tell me, it's 2, 8, 8 and 1, right? If it gets rid of this 1 electron, it will have 8 electrons in its valence shell. So the valency of potassium is 1. For calcium, the electronic configuration is 2, 8, 8 and 2. So how many does it need to complete its octet? Yes, easily do away with 2. Now, if I tell nitrogen, now let's say we talk about the electronic configuration of nitrogen. The electronic configuration of nitrogen is 2 and 5. If I tell nitrogen you lose these 5 electrons, it will have only 2. You think somebody will part away with 5 electrons so easily? The protons of this will allow? No, they won't. They will say, you rather bring in 3 electrons and we'll be happy with that rather than lose 5 electrons. It's easier to gain. That is why the valency of elements in group number 15 comes down to 3. The same is the case with group number 16. Now the electronic configuration, their electronic configuration is 2, 6 or 2, 8 and 6. Is it like that? Yes. Okay. So what do they say? It's easier to gain 2 electrons rather than do away with 6. So when they gain 2 electrons, valency becomes 2. So you see, doesn't it become so easy to determine the valency also of elements once you have the periodic table in place? This topic is all about understanding, right? So make sure that if there is any doubt, you write the electronic configuration, try to figure it out yourself and match with what is given over here. And then believe me, this topic is super easy, because after this we are going to talk about periodic properties. It's a short topic. So take a break, come back for the next video where we are going to talk about periodic properties and how the periodic table helps us to understand those. See you in the next video. Stay happy, stay healthy.